In sin did my mother conceive me, David said. The creation of man was not a sinful concept. However, the conception of man became one because of Adam. Man was created with covenants. Everyone who is born, there are already covenants at work. They call this proteins in science. Except the binding proteins keep to their covenant, then man will collapse. We see this in sicknesses and diseases. Proteins are failing to keep their covenants. Let me make an illustration. When the former president of the US, Donald Trump, banned Huawei, as a result of that, Huawei phones are no longer coming with a pre-installed Play Store, but the app gallery now. We are using the app gallery on Huawei phones. This is what we call the change of covenants. Covenants is an agreement. There was an agreement before even the phone could be manufactured, before even the mobile telephone you have in your hand could be manufactured. What makes up a phone that you have in your hand is covenants, agreements between this telecommunication with that app, and then the build-up of a phone. Therefore, we have a smartphone. But it's a group of covenants brought in together to give you a smartphone. It's the same with men. God brought in a group of covenants to give us men. He said, let us make men. That is an agreement, the first one. But there are many other covenants with the Spirit which God had made. The covenant with the spirit of anger, the covenant with the spirit of malice, the covenant with the spirit of love. Those covenants, that's why you are asked to control those things. Because there are covenants which build up you. What is man without love? What is man without anger? What is man without malice? All those things, they are there so that they can be active, to give you feelings, to give you emotions. What is man without affection? What is man without a sense of worship? Those things are the covenants which came with man pre-installed. But those covenants are higher than men because they predate men. For God to make men, those things, they have to be at play first so that he could say, let us make men. He was talking to himself. He was also talking to the covenants. Let us take love, for example. You will love to the fullest that you can, and you will never exhaust the love that the world has. You will hate to the fullest that you can. You will never exhaust the hate that the world has. You will have malice, or you will have envy, you will have affection, you will worship. You can never exhaust those things because you found them here. They predate you. They are covenants, they are agreements which God has made, which God has ordained. For instance, the covenant between the flesh and the spirit is only for a lifetime. The flesh has been sentenced to go back to the ground where it was taken, while death takes away the spirit. The process of people dying is only death taking away the life from the flesh. Then we pronounce the person dead. I will tell you now, instead of souls being locked up in graves, they are prisoners of death. That is another topic for another day. That's why those who manipulate the graves, they don't especially manipulate the graves to release anyone, but they manipulate death to release the prisoners. It was important for the Lord Messiah to go and take power from he who has death. That's what Hebrews says, and that is the devil, so that death can never be manipulated again concerning our spirits, those who believe. And now back to the covenant. The covenant that we have been given power, that we must overpower all other covenants, that you must have power over love, you must have authority over hate, you must have authority. Those things you can only have authority over them when you are in Christ. In other words, the covenant of Christ, you being put in Christ, because Christ is the Ancient of Days. He was there before all these things. He is the mediator. He is the government of all the covenants. Who are you to claim that you have power over love when you are not in Christ? Who are you to claim that you have power over sickness when you are not in Christ? Who are you to claim that you have power over hate, to have power over anger, to have power over malice when you are not in Christ? Because in Christ we find the covenants of creation. Because all these things were created by him and for him.